Dr. Lisa Martinez stepped off the shuttle and onto the metal platform of Kepler Station. Her boots made soft clicking sounds as she walked toward the security checkpoint. The station floated in space above a dead planet covered in strange ruins. Lisa had just spent 3 days down there, studying the old buildings left behind by some alien race. She carried her research bag over her shoulder. Inside were rock samples, photos, and data recordings. Nothing seemed special about any of it. The ruins looked old and empty, just like dozens of other sites she had explored before. Chief Security Officer Jake Collins sat behind the scanner controls. He was a big man with short gray hair and tired eyes. Jake had worked security for 15 years and had seen thousands of people pass through his checkpoint. He barely looked up as Lisa approached. "Welcome back, Doc," Jake said. "How was the dig?" "Quiet," Lisa replied. "Found some interesting crystal formations, but nothing that seemed important." Jake pressed a button, and the gate scanner came to life. Blue light filled the archway. This was not human technology. The Galactic Council had given it to Earth when humans first joined the galactic community 5 years ago. The scanner could detect diseases, weapons, dangerous materials, and even check if someone had been exposed to harmful alien technology. Lisa walked through the blue light. She had done this hundreds of times before. The scanner would beep twice, show her information on the screen, and Jake would wave her through. It was routine, but this time was different. The scanner made a strange, humming noise. The blue light flickered and turned purple. Jake frowned and looked at his control panel. Numbers and symbols scrolled across the screen faster than he could read them. Then everything stopped. The screen went black for 3 seconds. When it came back on, there was a message in bright red letters. "Subject survived direct contact with Apex God." Jake stared at the screen. In 15 years, he had never seen this message before. He had never even heard of it. He looked at Lisa, who stood in the archway looking normal and healthy. "Doc, did you touch anything unusual down there?" Jake asked. "Just some rocks and crystal formations," Lisa said. "Why? Is something wrong?" Jake pressed several buttons trying to reset the scanner. The message stayed on the screen. He tried running the scan again. The same red message appeared. "Subject survived direct contact with Apex God." "I need to call Commander Taylor," Jake said. He reached for his communication device. Commander Mike Taylor arrived at the checkpoint within 5 minutes. He was a short man with brown hair who always looked worried about something. When he saw the scanner message, his face went pale. "What does this mean?" Jake asked. "I don't know," Commander Taylor said. "I've never seen anything like it." They both looked at Lisa. She stood there looking confused but perfectly normal. Her skin was the same color. Her eyes were clear. She moved and spoke normally. There was nothing obviously wrong with her. "Lisa, tell me exactly what happened down there," Commander Taylor said. Lisa thought for a moment. "I was exploring the main temple structure. There was a room in the center with crystal formations growing from the walls. One of them was different from the others. It was clear like glass but had a soft glow inside it." "Did you touch it?" Commander Taylor asked. "Yes," Lisa said. "I took readings with my scanner first. No radiation, no heat, no energy signatures. It seemed safe. When I touched it, there was a brief flash of light. Then I must have fainted because the next thing I remember, I was waking up on the floor." My chronometer showed that 3 hours had passed. Commander Taylor and Jake looked at each other. Neither of them knew what to do. "I feel fine," Lisa said. "Really? Nothing hurts. I don't feel sick or different." Commander Taylor activated his communication device. "Computer, connect me with the Galactic Council database. I need information about Apex Gods." The station's computer made several beeping sounds. Then a mechanical voice said, "Access denied. Apex God files are classified at the highest level. Only council representatives may access this information." "Can you tell me anything about Apex Gods?" Commander Taylor asked. "Basic information is available," the computer said. "Apex Gods are theoretical beings of immense power. Direct contact with Apex God technology or artifacts results in immediate molecular dissolution of all carbon-based life forms. No exceptions. have been recorded in galactic history. Commander Taylor felt cold. If this information was correct, Lisa should be dead. Not just dead, but completely destroyed at the molecular level. Yet she stood before them alive and apparently healthy. "I think we need to contact Earth Command," Jake said. "No," Commander Taylor said. "First, we contact the Council. This is their technology. They need to know about this immediately." Lisa sat down in a chair near the checkpoint. "Am I in trouble?" she asked. "I don't think so," Commander Taylor said. "But this is very unusual. We need to figure out what happened to you." Commander Taylor sent an emergency message to the Galactic Council. He included the scanner readout, Lisa's story, and a request for immediate assistance. He marked the message as highest priority. While they waited for a response, Dr. Alan Brooks arrived at the checkpoint. He was the station's chief scientist, a thin man with thick glasses who always carried a tablet computer. "I heard there was some kind of scanner malfunction," Dr. Brooks said. Commander Taylor showed him the message on the screen. Dr. Brooks read it 3 times, then looked at Lisa with wide eyes. "This is impossible," Dr. Brooks said. "According to everything we know about Apex gods, she should not exist anymore." "But I do exist," Lisa said. "I'm sitting right here." Dr. Brooks pulled out his tablet and began typing. "I want to run some basic medical scans. Blood pressure, heart rate, brain activity, just to make sure you're really okay." Lisa agreed to the tests. Dr. Brooks used his portable medical scanner to check her vital signs. Everything appeared normal. Her blood pressure was good. Her heart beat at a regular rhythm. Her brain activity showed normal patterns. "She seems completely healthy," Dr. Brooks said. "But I would like to do more detailed tests in the medical bay." Commander Taylor's communication device beeped. A message had arrived from the Galactic Council. It was short and urgent. "Emergency response team dispatched immediately. Do not allow subject to leave station. Maintain quarantine protocols. Council Representative Zektar arriving in 6 hours." Commander Taylor looked at Lisa. She was just a scientist who had touched a crystal. Now the Galactic Council was sending an emergency team to deal with her. Whatever had happened in that temple, it was bigger than any of them had imagined. 6 hours later, a large alien ship docked with Kepler Station. Commander Taylor watched through the observation window as strange figures in environmental suits moved through the docking tube. He had never seen a council emergency team before. Ambassador Zektar was the first to enter the station. He was tall, maybe 8 feet, with gray skin and 4 arms. His people were called the Centauri, and they had worked with the Galactic Council for thousands of years. 2 smaller aliens followed him. One looked like a giant insect with blue shell armor. The other was covered in brown fur and walked on 6 legs. "Where is the subject?" Ambassador Zektar asked. His voice was deep and made strange clicking sounds. "Dr. Martinez is in the medical bay," Commander Taylor said. "Dr. Brooks is running tests on her." "Take me there immediately," the ambassador said. "This situation is extremely dangerous." They walked through the station corridors. Commander Taylor noticed that the aliens kept looking around nervously, as if they expected something terrible to happen at any moment. In the medical bay, Dr. Lisa Martinez sat on an examination table, while Dr. Brooks checked readings on his computer screens. She looked up when the aliens entered the room. The bug-like alien made a high-pitched sound and stepped backward. "You are certain this human had direct contact with an Apex artifact?" Ambassador Zektar asked. "The scanner doesn't lie, Commander," Taylor said. "And she told us she touched something in the ruins." Ambassador Zektar approached Lisa slowly. He held up a small device that made beeping sounds. "Remarkable," he said. "She shows clear signs of Apex exposure, yet she lives." "What exactly are Apex gods?" Dr. Brooks asked. The furry alien spoke for the first time. Its voice sounded like wind blowing through trees. "They are the makers of the universe, beings of pure energy who shaped matter and time itself. Their technology is beyond the understanding of any current species. We have found Apex artifacts on 12 different worlds," Ambassador Zektar said. "Every time the results were catastrophic. The Vega system was completely sterilized when researchers activated an Apex device. 4 billion beings died instantly. Lisa felt scared for the first time since touching the crystal. Are you saying I should be dead? Not just dead, the bug-like alien said. Completely removed from existence. Apex energy dissolves matter at the quantum level. Nothing should remain. Dr. Brooks looked at his test results. But all her scans show normal human biology. Heart, lungs, brain, blood chemistry. Everything is exactly what it should be. Run deeper scans, Ambassador Zektar ordered. Check her neural pathways at the microscopic level. Dr. Brooks used the station's most advanced medical equipment. The results took 2 hours to process. When they came back, everyone in the room stared at the screen in silence. These readings can't be right, Dr. Brooks said. According to this, some of her neural pathways have been enhanced with technology that's millions of years ahead of anything we know. Lisa touched her head. I don't feel any different. Well, maybe a little different. What do you mean? Ambassador Zektar asked. I've been having strange dreams, Lisa said. And sometimes I understand things I shouldn't understand. Like right, now I know that your species comes from a planet with 3 moons, even though no one ever told me that. The Centauri ambassador stepped backward. Information about his homeworld was classified at the highest levels of galactic security. What else do you know? He asked. Lisa closed her eyes and concentrated. Images flashed through her mind. The brown furry one comes from a world covered in forests. His people live in cities built in giant trees. The insect being is from a desert planet where they build underground hives. Both aliens made sounds of alarm. This information was not available to humans. How is this possible? Dr. Brooks asked. Ambassador Zektar was quiet for a long time. Finally, he spoke. In our oldest records, there are stories about the time before the current galactic order. Legends say that some species once worked alongside the apex gods as partners, but those records are considered mythology. You think humans might be descendants of such a species? Commander Taylor asked. It would explain why she survived, the furry alien said. Perhaps humans have some biological compatibility with apex consciousness. Lisa stood up from the examination table. As she did, the lights in the medical bay flickered. All the electronic equipment beeped at the same time. Did I do that? Lisa asked. The energy readings just spiked, Dr. Brooks said, looking at his instruments. Some kind of electromagnetic field surrounded you for about 3 seconds. Ambassador Zektar was now clearly frightened. We must contact the High Council immediately. This situation is beyond our current protocols. Over the next day, more alien ships arrived at Kepler Station. Representatives from 6 different species came to examine Lisa. Each group was more nervous than the last. They ran tests, asked questions, and held private meetings. Lisa noticed that she was understanding more and more. She could read the alien text on their computers. She knew what they were saying even when they spoke in their own languages. Sometimes she would know the answer to complex mathematical problems without thinking about them. I think something is waking up inside my mind, she told Dr. Brooks during one of their sessions. What kind of something? He asked. Knowledge, memories that aren't mine. I can see images of stars and planets I've never visited. I understand. Technology that hasn't been invented yet. Dr. Brooks recorded everything she said. Meanwhile, the aliens continued their meetings. Through the station's walls, Lisa could hear them arguing in their various languages. She understood every word, even though she had never learned any alien languages before. The Centauri wanted to move her to a secure facility. The insect beings thought she should be studied more carefully. The furry aliens believed she might be dangerous. Other species had different opinions. They're scared of me, Lisa told Commander Taylor. They think I might become something they can't control. Are you becoming something different? He asked. Lisa looked at her hands. They looked the same as always, but she could feel energy flowing through them. I don't know. Maybe. But I'm still me. I still remember my childhood, my family, my work. I don't want to hurt anyone. That night, while Lisa slept in the medical bay, the alien representatives made their decision. Ambassador Zektar came to speak with Commander Taylor. The High Council has issued orders, the Centauri said. Dr. Martinez must be transferred to a containment facility. There she will undergo a cleansing process to remove any apex influence. What does that mean? Commander Taylor asked. The process will extract any foreign consciousness or technology from her mind, Ambassador Zektar explained. It is the only way to ensure galactic security. And if she refuses? Ambassador Zektar was quiet for a moment. The process is not optional, and there is a significant chance that removing apex influence will result in her death. Commander Taylor felt anger rising in his chest. These aliens wanted to kill Lisa because they were afraid of what she might become. I need to contact Earth. Command, he said. Earth Command has already been notified, Ambassador Zektar replied. A council fleet is being assembled to ensure compliance with this decision. Commander Taylor realized that Earth was about to face its first major crisis as a member of the galactic community, and it all started with one human woman touching a crystal in some old ruins. Captain Roy Singh stood on the bridge of the Earth battleship Defender as it approached Kepler Station. Behind him, Dr. Amy Clark worked at a computer terminal, reviewing all the data Earth Command had received about Lisa Martinez. The situation had escalated quickly once Earth learned that the Galactic Council planned to perform a potentially lethal procedure on a human citizen. Captain, we're receiving a transmission from the Council fleet, his communications officer reported. On the main screen, Ambassador Zektar appeared. Behind him, Captain Singh could see the bridge of a massive alien warship. Captain Singh, you are ordered to maintain distance and not interfere with Council operations. Ambassador, Dr. Martinez is a citizen of Earth, Captain Singh replied. We have the right to ensure her safety. Dr. Martinez has been exposed to Apex technology, the Centauri said. This makes her a threat to all life in the galaxy. The cleansing process is necessary. And if we refuse to allow this process? Ambassador. Zektar's face showed no emotion. Then Earth will be considered in violation of galactic law. The consequences would be severe. The transmission ended. Captain Singh looked at the tactical display. 12 Council ships surrounded Kepler Station. Each one was larger and more heavily armed than his single battleship. Not good odds, his tactical officer said. They always are, Captain Singh replied. Dr. Clark, how soon until you can examine Dr. Martinez? I need to get aboard the station, Dr. Clark said. My equipment is already prepared. Dr. Amy Clark was Earth's leading expert on consciousness and brain function. She had studied how the human mind worked for 20 years. If anyone could understand what had happened to Lisa, it would be her. 2 hours later, Dr. Clark was in the medical bay with Lisa, Dr. Brooks, and Commander Taylor. The alien representatives watched from a distance, clearly unhappy that Earth had sent its own scientist. Lisa, I want you to tell me about your experience in as much detail as possible, Dr. Clark said. Lisa described touching the crystal, the flash of light, and waking up 3 hours later. She also talked about the dreams, the new knowledge, and her ability to understand alien languages. Dr. Clark used her advanced brain scanning equipment. The results were unlike anything she had ever seen. Lisa, some of your neural pathways have been enhanced with technology that operates on principles we don't understand. But it's not like a computer chip or artificial device. It's more like your brain has been upgraded at the biological level. What does that mean? Lisa asked. It means whatever happened to you, it wasn't an accident, Dr. Clark said. Something chose to enhance your mind. Ambassador Zektar approached them. Dr. Clark, your examination time is over. We must begin the cleansing process. I'm not finished, Dr. Clark said. I need more time to understand what's happening. There is no more time, the Centauri replied. Every moment Dr. Martinez remains unchanged increases the danger to everyone. Lisa stood up from the examination table. As she did, something strange happened. The medical equipment around her began displaying information faster than anyone could read. Screens showed complex mathematical equations, star charts, and technical diagrams. What's happening? Dr. Brooks asked. Lisa closed her eyes and concentrated. Suddenly, she could see much more than the room around her. She could sense the electronic systems throughout the station. She could feel the energy patterns of every living being nearby. And she could perceive something else. Something that had been hidden until now. I'm not just enhanced, Lisa said, opening her eyes. There's something else in my mind. A consciousness that's separate from mine. What kind of consciousness? Dr. Clark asked. Lisa was quiet for a moment, listening to thoughts that weren't her own. It's dying, or it was dying. It says it was one of the last apex gods, and when I touched the crystal, it transferred part of itself into my mind to survive. The alien representatives made sounds of alarm. Ambassador Zektar backed away from Lisa. This confirms our worst fears, he said. She now carries an apex consciousness. The danger is even greater than we thought. Wait, Lisa said. It's not dangerous. It's trying to communicate with me. Lisa closed her eyes again. In her mind, she could feel the presence of something vast and ancient. It showed her images of the galaxy millions of years ago, when the apex gods worked with many different species to build beautiful civilizations across the stars. It's showing me the past, Lisa said. The apex gods weren't rulers or conquerors. They were teachers and guides. They helped other species develop technology and understanding. Then what happened to them? Dr. Clark asked. More images flashed through Lisa's mind. She saw a great war, betrayal by species they had trusted, and the systematic destruction of apex artifacts and knowledge. They were betrayed, Lisa said. Some of the species they had helped decided they wanted the apex technology for themselves. They formed an alliance and attacked the apex gods when they were vulnerable. Ambassador Zektar made a sound that might have been surprise or anger. These are lies. The official history states that the apex gods were tyrants who were overthrown by freedom-loving peoples. The official history is wrong, Lisa said. The apex consciousness was sharing more knowledge with her now. The current Galactic Council is built on lies. The technology you use, the laws you enforce, even the territories you control were all stolen from the civilizations the apex gods helped create. Dr. Clark watched the readings on her equipment as Lisa spoke. Her brain activity was increasing, dramatically but in patterns that suggested enhanced function rather than damage. Lisa, are you still yourself? Dr. Clark asked. Yes, Lisa replied. The apex consciousness isn't trying to control me. It's trying to teach me. It says humans have the same neural flexibility that made some species compatible with apex technology millions of years ago. That's impossible, the furry alien said. Humans are a primitive species that only achieved space travel recently. Lisa turned to look at him. When she did, her eyes seemed to glow with a soft light. Humans aren't primitive. You've been told we're primitive because the Council fears what we might become. They've been watching Earth for centuries, waiting to see if we would develop the same abilities that made our ancestors partners with the apex gods. The medical bay fell silent. Even Dr. Brooks stopped typing on his computer. Our ancestors? Dr. Clark asked. Humans are descendants of one of the original partner species, Lisa said. That's why I survived the contact. That's why the apex consciousness was able to merge with my mind without destroying it. Ambassador Zektar activated his communication device. Hi, Council. We have a critical situation. The human has confirmed our worst fears. She carries an active apex consciousness and claims knowledge of the true history. A voice responded in the Centauri language. Lisa understood every word, even though she had never heard the language before today. They're ordering the immediate cleansing, Lisa said. And if that fails, they're going to destroy this entire station to prevent the information from spreading. Captain Singh's voice came over the station's communication system. All Earth personnel, this is Captain Singh. We're detecting weapons charges on the Council ships. Prepare for possible evacuation. Lisa felt the apex consciousness sharing more knowledge with her. Suddenly, she understood things about physics and energy manipulation that human science had never discovered. They don't have to destroy us, Lisa said. I can protect the station. How? Dr. Clark asked. Lisa smiled. For the first time since touching the crystal, she felt confident about what was happening to her. The apex gods didn't just teach other species. They gave them the tools to defend themselves. And now, I have access to those tools. Admiral Beth Parker received Captain Singh's emergency transmission while her fleet was still 3 hours away from Kepler Station. She commanded Earth's entire deep space fleet, 6 battleships, 12 cruisers, and 20 smaller escort vessels. It was impressive by human standards, but nothing compared to the Council Armada now surrounding the station. Admiral, we're detecting massive energy buildup from the Council ships, her tactical officer reported. It looks like they're preparing to fire. Admiral Parker studied the sensor data. The Council had assembled 57 warships, including several Planet Killer-class vessels. Earth's fleet would be completely outmatched in conventional combat. Any word from our people on the station? She asked. Captain Singh reports that Dr. Martinez claims she can protect the station using some kind of apex technology, the communications officer said. Admiral Parker had read the reports about Lisa Martinez. The idea that one human woman could stand against an entire council fleet seemed impossible. But then again, everything about this situation was impossible. On Kepler Station, Lisa stood in the medical bay while energy swirled around her. The apex consciousness was teaching her to access abilities that had been dormant in human genetics for millions of years. She could feel the power flowing through her, and for the first time, she understood what the apex gods had really been. They weren't gods at all, Lisa said to Dr. Clark. They were just an older species that had learned to manipulate energy at the quantum level, and they taught others to do the same. Ambassador Zektar was speaking rapidly into his communication device. Lisa could understand every word, and what she heard made her angry. He's telling them to fire immediately, Lisa said. They've decided that destroying the station is the only way to prevent apex knowledge from spreading. Can you really protect us? Commander Taylor asked. Lisa reached out with her enhanced senses. She could feel the energy patterns of every weapon system on every council ship. The apex consciousness showed her how to disrupt those patterns. Yes, she said, but I need to make contact with Captain Singh first. The space around Kepler Station suddenly erupted in light. The council ships fired every weapon they had at the small research station. Energy beams, projectile weapons, and quantum torpedoes all converged on the same target. None of them hit. A shimmering barrier had appeared around the station. The weapons struck the barrier and simply disappeared, their energy absorbed and redirected harmlessly into space. On the bridge of the Defender, Captain Singh watched in amazement. How is she doing that? Dr. Clark's voice came over the communication system from the station. Lisa has access to apex energy manipulation technology. She's created some kind of protective field. Admiral Parker, this is Captain Singh, he transmitted to the approaching Earth fleet. You need to see this. Admiral Parker arrived just as The council ships fired their second volley. Again, every weapon was stopped by Lisa's energy barrier. But this time, something else happened. Beams of light shot out from the station toward the council ships. These beams didn't destroy the alien vessels, but they did something more impressive. They disabled them completely. Weapon systems, engines, life support, and communication systems all shut down simultaneously. Impossible, Admiral Parker whispered. She just disabled 57 warships without firing a shot. On the station, Lisa was teaching Captain Singh and his crew how to enhance their own ships. The apex consciousness shared knowledge about energy manipulation, advanced propulsion, and defensive systems. Your ships can be upgraded, Lisa told them over the communication link. The technology you need is already built into human neural patterns. You just need to know how to access it. Within an hour, the human ships around Kepler Station had been transformed. They could move faster than anything the Council had ever seen. Their weapons could disable enemy systems without destroying them. Their shields could absorb and redirect almost any attack. Council Regent Mordak arrived with reinforcements, 200 additional warships and several planet killer vessels. He was a massive alien with thick armor plating and 6 arms. His species had personally destroyed 17 worlds that had been exposed to apex technology. Humans of Earth, his voice boomed across all communication channels. Surrender the contaminated individual immediately. or we will sterilize your entire star system. Admiral Parker responded from her flagship. Regent Mordak, Dr. Martinez, is under the protection of Earth. We will not surrender her. Then you have chosen extinction, the Regent replied. The reinforced Council fleet opened fire with everything they had. Energy blasts that could crack planets struck the human ships, but the enhanced human vessels absorbed the attacks and returned. Fire with precision strikes that disabled Council weapons without harming their crews. The battle lasted 6 hours. When it was over, every Council ship was floating dead in space. Their crews were alive, but their vessels were completely powerless. The human fleet had not lost a single ship. Lisa felt the apex consciousness sharing even more knowledge with her. She could see the truth about galactic history, about the species that had been suppressed, and about the artificial limitations that had been placed on technological development. The Council has been lying to everyone for millions of years, Lisa told Admiral Parker during a communication. They've kept hundreds of species in technological stagnation while using stolen apex knowledge to maintain their control. What do you want to do about it? Admiral Parker asked. Lisa thought about this carefully. The power flowing through her was incredible, but she was still human. She still believed in human values like freedom, cooperation, and the right of people to determine their own fate. I want to give other species the same choice we had, Lisa said. The choice to evolve and grow instead of being kept as children. Over the next few days, human ships visited systems throughout the galaxy. Lisa shared carefully selected apex knowledge with species that had been held back for millennia. The results were immediate and dramatic. The Andorian people, who had been struggling with energy production for centuries, suddenly developed clean fusion technology. The Volcari, who had been trapped on their homeworld due to limited space travel, created ships that could cross the galaxy in days instead of years. Dozens of other species made similar breakthroughs. Council Regent Mordak sent a final transmission to Earth before his disabled fleet was rescued by other Council forces. You have doomed the galaxy, he said. The apex knowledge was restricted, for good reason. You will bring chaos and destruction to every system. Lisa responded personally. The only chaos will be the end of your artificial control. Species have the right to reach their full potential. Admiral Parker established a permanent fleet presence around Kepler Station. Earth had gone from being a minor member of the galactic community to being the most powerful military force in known space, but more importantly, they had become the liberators of dozens of oppressed civilizations. The gate scanner that had started everything continued to display its message. Subjects survived direct contact with Apex God. But now, similar scanners throughout the galaxy were showing new messages as other humans began to access their dormant Apex-compatible abilities. Lisa stood on the observation deck of Kepler Station, looking out at the stars. The Apex consciousness was still with her, but it was fading as its knowledge integrated with her own mind. Soon, she would be fully human again, but with capabilities that her species had forgotten for millions of years. What happens now? Doctor, Clark asked, joining her at the window. Now we help the galaxy grow up, Lisa replied. The age of artificial limitations is over. 6 months after the battle at Kepler Station, Dr. Lisa Martinez stood in the United Nations building in New York. She was addressing the General Assembly, but this meeting included representatives from 47 different alien species. The galaxy had changed dramatically since humans began sharing Apex knowledge. President Helen Davis sat in the front row, listening as Lisa explained the latest developments. Earth had become the unofficial leader of what people were calling the New Galactic Alliance, a growing group of species that had broken free from Council control. The artificial limitations imposed by the old Council are ending, Lisa told the Assembly. In the past 6 months, we have seen advances that should have taken thousands of years. The Rigelian people have developed medical technology that can repair genetic damage. The Tau-Cetians have created agricultural systems that can feed entire planets. The Arcturians have built ships that can travel between galaxies. In the back of the room, Elder Krinith listened carefully. He was one of the oldest members of the original Galactic Council, and he had secretly been working with humanity for weeks. His species, the Etherians, had been among the first to rebel against Council control after learning the truth about Apex history. Dr. Martinez, President Davis said, "What is the status of the remaining Council forces?" "They have retreated to their core worlds," Lisa replied. "Without their technological advantage, they cannot maintain control over the outer systems. Many of their own member species are questioning the official history and demanding access to the knowledge that has been kept from them." Elder Crineth stood up. When he spoke, his voice sounded like wind chimes in a gentle breeze. "I wish to address the assembly." The room fell quiet. Elder Crineth was older than recorded human history, and his knowledge of galactic politics was unmatched. "I have lived for 12,000 of your years," he said. "I was present when the Council first decided to suppress Apex knowledge. At the time, we believed we were preventing chaos. We thought that advanced technology in the hands of young species would lead to destruction." "What changed your mind?" President Davis asked. "Humanity," Elder Crineth replied. "In 6 months, you have shared powerful knowledge with dozens of species. Yet instead of using this knowledge for conquest or destruction, you have focused on cooperation and mutual advancement. You have proven that the Council's fears were unfounded." Lisa felt a presence in her mind. The Apex consciousness was almost gone now, having integrated fully with her human thoughts. But occasionally she could still access the vast knowledge it had shared with her. "Elder Crineth is correct," Lisa said. "But there's something else we need to discuss. The Apex consciousness has shown me that there are other threats in the galaxy, dangers that the old Council was actually protecting us from." The assembly stirred nervously. This was the first time Lisa had mentioned external threats. "What kind of threats?" asked Ambassador Chen, Earth's representative to the galactic community. Lisa activated a holographic display showing a map of the galaxy. "Beyond our galaxy, there are other civilizations. Some of them are hostile to organic life. The Apex gods originally developed their technology not just for exploration and teaching, but for defense against these external threats." "Are you saying we're in danger?" President Davis asked. "Not immediate danger," Lisa replied. "But the defenses that have protected our galaxy for millions of years are breaking down. The Council's suppression of technological advancement has left us vulnerable." Elder Crineth nodded sadly. "This is why some of us supported the restrictions. We knew about the external threats, but we thought keeping our civilizations weak was better than risking their corruption by advanced technology." "That was a mistake," Lisa said firmly. "Weakness invites attack. The only real defense is strength, knowledge, and cooperation." Over the following weeks, Lisa worked with scientists and engineers from dozens of species to establish what they called the Human Advancement Initiative. This program shared Apex knowledge carefully and responsibly, ensuring that each species could handle the technology they received. The results were remarkable. The Centaurians, who had been loyal Council enforcers for millennia, developed peaceful applications of their military technology and began helping with galactic infrastructure projects. The insectoid Vectani created biological computers that could process information at quantum speeds. The crystalline silicoids learned to manipulate matter at the atomic level, creating material stronger than anything previously known. But the most important development was the emergence of other humans with Apex-compatible abilities. Gate scanners throughout human space began displaying the same message that had started everything. Subjects survived direct contact with Apex God. Dr. Amy Clark established research centers on 12 different worlds to study these new human abilities. She discovered that about 1 in every 1,000 humans had the neural flexibility needed to interface with Apex technology. These individuals could enhance existing technology, develop new applications, and teach others to access dormant capabilities. "We're not just inheriting Apex knowledge," Dr. Clark reported to the Alliance Assembly. "We're evolving to become something new. Humanity is transforming into a species capable of technological advancement that was thought impossible." The old Galactic Council made several attempts to regain control. They sent diplomatic missions, economic sanctions, and even covert military strikes. All of these efforts failed because too many of their own member species had already joined the new Alliance. Council. Regent Mordock made one final appearance before the Alliance Assembly. He arrived in a small ship with minimal security, clearly defeated. "You have destroyed the stability of the galaxy," he told the assembled representatives. "Without central control, chaos will follow." Lisa stood to respond. The months of integration with Apex consciousness had changed her. She was still recognizably human, but there was something more in her eyes, a depth of understanding that came from touching the infinite. "Regent Mordock, your idea of stability was stagnation," she said. "You kept entire civilizations as children, never allowing them to reach their potential. True stability comes from strength, growth, and the ability to face challenges together. And when the external threats arrive," the Regent asked, "when civilizations from beyond our galaxy come to destroy everything you have built, then we will face them as equals," Lisa replied. "Not as subjects hiding behind artificial limitations, but as free beings using the full extent of our capabilities." Year after the gate scanner first froze with its impossible message, Lisa stood once again on the observation deck of Kepler Station. But now, instead of looking at empty space, she could see hundreds of ships from dozens of different species. They were working together to build something unprecedented, a galactic defense network based on Apex technology. Dr. Clark joined her at the window. "Any regrets?" she asked. Lisa thought about this carefully. The power she had gained came with enormous responsibility. She could feel the weight of an entire galaxy's hopes and fears resting on her shoulders. "No regrets," she said finally. "The Apex consciousness chose to preserve itself in a human mind for a reason. It wanted its knowledge to be used for growth and cooperation, not control and suppression. And if the external threats do come?" Lisa smiled, and for a moment her eyes seemed to glow with the same soft light that had appeared when she first accessed Apex abilities. "Then they'll discover what happens when humans decide to protect something. The galaxy won't be a collection of weak, controlled civilizations. It will be an alliance of strong, free peoples working together. And that," she said, "is something worth fighting for." The gate scanner in the station security checkpoint continued to display its message for anyone who wanted to read it. Subject survived direct contact with Apex God. But now, everyone understood what it really meant. It wasn't a warning. It was an announcement. Humanity had inherited the responsibility of guiding the galaxy toward its true potential. And they would not let that responsibility go unfulfilled. In the depths of space, ancient monitoring stations registered the energy signatures of approaching fleets from distant galaxies. The external threats were real, and they were coming. But they would find a galaxy very different from the one the old council had ruled. They would find a galaxy ready to fight back.